Yeah. I want West. We taking over. Ha. Yo, Nayata.
Yo, Gucci.
Strap to the bone, chat to me crew. Fire one in a them head, chat to the dome. Them boy they no bad, that a way me know. Only bad when me man friend pop pill alone. Tall rifle a roll under me clothes. One with a run road that a fi be known. Brown in bad bitch, not silicone. Rich badness, fat belly phone. Them boy they no ready for the gun life. Give them a pitchfork and a grum knife. Press the chip clock on the front line. If the road dark, he become bright. Me dog them a killer when a sunlight. We was a transform when it turn night. Chris Kalish calf we black and white. With the red light on the front eye. Toppy show. Talk about things where you nothing do. Toppy show. Kel taking a me and that a no fi show. Rifle bind them big like puppy toe. A tall rifle a mat to be go fi four. Toppy show. But he boy stop chat when the fuck you know. Thing them ram up in a skin them time. You get lead poison in an infection. Make your dopey rise quicker than inflation. And the eye cast a living in dead from its inception. That's how the thing them tan. Start off slow, now the thing get strong. I want West and it never take long. Now we are do the road mad injection. Toppy show. Talk about things where you nothing know. Toppy show. Kel taking a me and that a no fi show. Rifle bind them big like puppy toe. A tall rifle a mat to be go fi four. Toppy show. But he boy stop chat where the fuck you know. Them boy they no ready for the gun life. Give them a pitchfork and a grum knife. Press the chip clock on the front line. If the road dark he become bright. Me dog them a killer when a sunlight. We was a transform when it turn night. Chris Kalish calf we black and white. Make the rain fall and the ground dry. Shalom, Israel. Alright, welcome again to another Wednesday night ISUPK law class. My name is Priest and Officer 500 Kayadwan Banyamne and out of ISUPK, Jamaica, under command General YAHANNA. I say Yahweh Basham Yahushai Come to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Basham Yahushai, to my sisters. You understand? ISUPK started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. ISUPK is run by Commanding General YAHANNA. You understand? The only man with the rank and the authority to be leader over Israel until our King Christ come. You understand? Now the ISUPK was founded in our name and the fact that black, Hispanics and Native Indians are the true Israelites, the real Jews according to Bible history and archaeology. You understand? So, you know what I mean? That is where the whole Hebrew Israelite thing, you know what I mean, started. It started here with ISUPK. You understand? So, you might see a lot of other groups out there, many number, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? What they are doing is basically plagiarizing and stealing from the truth. And they never teach you the authentic truth. You know what I mean? Because many of their leaders were once in the ISUPK, and for some reason or another, they are no longer in the ISUPK. So when them start them group now, them water down the thing, them turn it more lean it more towards Christian doctrine. You understand? Some people start teach that the white man can be saved. You understand? Like GOCC, which makes no sense. You know what I mean? Because according to the original teaching, you know what I mean, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are in bondage. You know what I mean? According to the Bible, we are the ones who need saving. We are the ones who Christ came to save. Christ said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You understand? Matthew also said that he would save his people. The white man is not Christ's people. So those are the little things that these fake groups slip in to be more in, you know what I mean, in um, more favorable to the oppressor. You understand? Then you have the purple, you know what I mean, purple, what you call them now? You know, I use the F word. You have the purple, you know what I mean, pigs. See? Who, you know what I mean, teach that Africans are Israelites. You know what I mean? They gave up the Hebrew, the Lashawan Kodash. You know what I mean? The same Lashawan Kodash that Sizzla Kalonji, you know what I mean, now claims that he teaches that he got from the ISUPK. You understand? The purple group, they throw it to the window. You understand? They now accept, you know what I mean, Africans, you know what I mean, saying that Africans are Israelites. When we know, according to the original teaching, that, you know what I mean, Africans sold us into slavery because they knew we were not their people. You understand? And if you ask me, we don't look like no blinking African. You understand? You can clearly see there's a big difference between what an African look like and what we look like. There might be few similarities cases where you see, yeah, this man look like an African and an African kind of look red, but for the majority, come on, you can clearly see that we are two different races of people. You understand? But you know what I mean? Them because them want because it's all about the money, them include Africans. The same way like how GOCC, they include white people because of the money. You understand? And because they don't want to offend the oppressor. You understand? And that is the reason why we in the ISUPK, we say we are not affiliated with any Hebrew Israelite organization. You understand? Hopefully you not hear me good. My apologies for the noise in the background. Some Christian churches out on the street, you know what I mean, making a tumult, making noise. You understand? So bear with me a bit. For those on TikTok, I do not know why the screen is red. I don't know if you see the screen red, but from my perspective, the screen just looks red. I don't know what is causing it. You understand? But just bear with me with that. All right. So in today's class, we're going to touch upon the topic of, you know what I mean, adultery. See? And we have a situation where a young sister, Unalive, you know what I mean, our ex, because he did a DNA test and found out that the child that she was bashing him for, that he was a deadbeat dad and he was not living up to his responsibility. He did a test that proved, a DNA test that proved that he was not the child. And she was bashing him on the internet, you know what I mean? And he did the same. He came out on the internet and started bashing that she should give him back her money. You understand? Give him back the money where him invest in a child because the child is a jacket. And the sister stabbed him up several times and analyzed him. See? Which goes to the age-old argument of paternity fraud. You understand? Paternity fraud is something, you know what I mean, is an epidemic here in Jamaica. But what is the cause of paternity fraud? You understand? People in the chat, feel free to jump in. You know what I mean? Hopefully you not hear me good. Saying what is the cause, the root cause of paternity fraud? Can anybody tell me? Anybody in the chat? You understand? In the meanwhile, as you jump in, just tap up the screen, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. You understand? What is the cause, the real cause of paternity fraud? What is the reason why Jamaica have so much paternity fraud? Can anybody tell me? You understand me? I will go now 5 minutes. You understand? For seeing. In the meanwhile, I go queue up some videos. You understand? And then we're gonna jump straight into it. Again, tonight is our ISUPK Jamaica Wednesday night law class. You understand? Reason why we have a law class is because these laws in the Bible that the Most High gave to us, his people, the children of Israel. See, they are not being taught in the Christian church. They are not being taught in the Rastafari community or in any religion. They are not being taught in society. And these are the most important things that the Most High gave us for us to adhere to. You understand? But nobody teaches it. Nobody points to the importance of us keeping God's laws. You understand? You have political campaigns going on right now, Zane, where you go voting a political party or vote out one, Zane, or vote for the standing one, so them can pass laws that benefit you, laws that will make your life better. Isn't that what, you know what I mean, everybody is getting ready to do? Voting for politicians to implement laws that, you know what I mean, laws that would make your life better. And when governments go into power, they make sure that laws are in place to protect the people. You understand? Laws are in place to, you know what I mean, not impede on your civil rights. You understand? Your rights as a citizen. See? That is what your people are getting ready to vote for a political party to do. See? Take, for example, the oppressor. The oppressor has laws. You understand? The oppressor has laws and how he governs his kingdom. The oppressor's laws are not necessarily moral laws, but they are laws in, you know what I mean? They are laws that indicate to you how the oppressor wants his society to run. You understand? So laws, you can't avoid laws. So we in the ISUPK and the Commanding General, YAHANNA, we teach God laws because God laws are important for us to keep. God gave us these laws when he was establishing the nation of Israel. You understand? With our foreparents. He gave us laws to govern our nation. You understand? These laws are being, you know what I mean, dismissed in the Christian church, saying that they are no longer important. See? It is no longer important to keep God's laws. That is what the Christian church teach. When, according to the Bible, breaking God's laws is what a sin is. So it's contradicting, because if the Christian church claim that they are trying to bring sinners to repentance, then God's laws should be important, because keeping God's laws would make you righteous. But them throw it through the window. So that is the reason why the ISUPK and the Commanding General, YAHANNA, we teach God laws. You understand? And we have a Wednesday night law class, see? Which I implore every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian who are the descendants of the real Israelites of the Bible to tune into these laws, because these laws will get you on the right track again with the Most High. See? So no, me not see the answer in the comment yet. See? My question was, what is the real cause for paternity fraud? What is the real reason for paternity fraud? May I look for the answer. I not see it yet. So here what I go do. I go jump to a video. Remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. So this video is, you know what I mean, it's on the SPAC media. You know what I mean? We don't have rights to this video. We are just using it for educational purposes. Zane, as reference. Zane, so he's going to touch on the incident with the brother and with the sister analyzing the brother for doing a, you know what I mean, a DNA test proving that the child is not his. You understand? Without further ado, here's the video.
In the Kingston Western Police Division, where this female presently on your screen is presently behind bars for using a knife to take the life of this young man presently on your screen, identified as Jerome Harris, but he's known as Finey in our streets. Now, one would ask why a woman would use a knife and take a man's life. Now, the male in question is said to be her child's father. So all was well when boy meets girl, fall in love, and lay down and create a baby. Then boom, things no work out. Mother and child go east. Father went west, moved on with his life, and found himself a new girl. She also too moved on with her life. It is said that he is somewhere in his 20s and she is in her mid-30s, about 34 or 35 years old. So what go on now is that she went public on social media, inciting that the youth, Jerome Harris, aka Finey, is one of them little walkless poopa there, we don't mind them pitney. So she continued to rant on social media. So the young man became really suspicious for whatsoever reason there was, and decided to, you don't know, start jump prone for win back her confidence so she can start leave him with the child more often. So him start playing like a part in her child life. But for some reason, him decided to take the child to do a DNA test. I have all of this on video footage when the child was being tested. In fact, on your screen is the DNA results. Now, the father was surprised to find out that he made it on the Murray Show or Jerry Springer and was told, "You are not the father." So the young man was enraged and presented the result of the DNA to her.
Running hurts. Tai Chi
What my
heals,
screen share, like,
especially after
follow
50.
depending on the platform.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer.
And of course, made it publicly known, said the pitney and a theme, and he needed back every single penny that he spent on the child. Now she was rather feeling ashamed of what was publicly stated and decided that for what he did to publicly humiliate her, she got to take him 3 pints. And she saw him Sunday morning at a shop, a popular shop in the area, and they had a verbal turn, physical altercation in which she used a knife to knife him. That first injury was not fatal. So he went to her and stated that, "Hey, you really knife me over my own money." And she got enraged and just knife him up some more. This time, sadly though, leaving him lifeless. So now she's in the custody of the police. The father is no longer among the land of the living. And now we have a child in limbo, no mother. The father that he knew is no longer among the land of the living. And he does not know who his real father is. So who is at a great loss at the end of the day? The man will lie down upon a block of ice. And of course, the child, really, really sad. Boy, me I tell you, my peeps. The thing rough. So anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe.
All right, so you know what I mean? Me still ask a question. See, what is the cause of paternity fraud? Of course, this is a sad, you know what I mean, state of event. You know what I mean? Any brother would be, you know what I mean, hearing this, I think this will make every man blood run cold. You understand? Every man who, whether I'm have a youth or I'm not have a youth, it will make him blood run cold. And me I say for a long while, you know, our sisters, you know what I mean, they have both our brothers and sisters, you know, but our sisters have definitely, you know what I mean, been completely miseducated, you know what I mean, by the Christian church and by society. And that is where their allegiance is, you know what I mean, and no respect is being given to the black man and the Hispanic man anymore. See? But the internet is doing something that is very dangerous, and if brothers and sisters don't get inside the ISUPK and the Commanding General YAHANNA, there's going to be a tit for tat between brothers and sisters, and that is the plan of the oppressor from the beginning. You know what I mean? Turn the black man against the black woman and turn the black woman against the black man. Let the black woman don't have no confidence in the black man's leadership. You know what I mean? And make the black man can't trust or love the black woman. See? And situations like this only make it worse. See? But there is a solution to this. That doesn't mean that we, man and woman, need to go to war with each other, because that is the plan of the oppressor. Because if man can't trust woman no more, woman, you know what I mean, afraid of man, you know what I mean, and don't have confidence in a man no more, see, you're not going to have much children being born, and you don't see where I go on with that already. And that is, we call it now, not gentrification, that is eugenics. See, that is eugenics. Them cutting the population in any way, shape, or form them can, with the LGBT agenda, with all different manners of disunity amongst us. See, that is the plan. But what is the cause of, you know what I mean, of paternity fraud? Is the question me I think there. Me I ask, what is the real cause of paternity fraud, and what is the solution? Remember, you know, you need to tap up the screen and share around this thing, you know. Because here in the ISUPK, we're going to the solution. We're not just going to commentary on things. We're not trying to go viral. You understand? We're not trying to say some things for just, you know what I mean, go with the wave of emotions that everybody is heading to today. We are going to solution. Commanding General YAHANNA has the solution for our people. So again, may I ask the question, what is the cause of paternity fraud? All right, so for time's sake, I'm going to go to the answer. The cause of paternity fraud is adultery. Zane, adultery is the reason why man get jacket. You understand? Let me explain. What is adultery? According to the Bible, adultery is when a man sleep with a woman who is another man's wife. That is adultery. And adultery on the woman's side is when a woman who have an husband sleep with another man. That is adultery. See? It takes two to tango. You understand? It takes two to tango. And I know most people are look on this situation and I say, yeah man, the woman wicked for a man jacket. Yeah, woman have the upper hand where jacket is concerned, where them would know say, oh, that pitney, you know what I mean, favor John Tom, it not really favor my baby father, you know. See? So more likely she knows that she's in a relationship with John Tom to her, she have sexual interactions with John Tom, so she knows that this pitney are John Tom own and not her baby father. See? So she can determine who the father is the father, the baby father, our man, our husband, we should live with, are there with. See, won't know that this is a jacket until the picnic, you know what I mean? One, until him do a DNA test, or until the picnic grow up and stop favor him. Him no know John Tam, so him can't look upon the youth and say, yo, the youth favor John Tam, because him no know John Tam. See? But the woman know John Tam. So she will know, say, yo, the youth belongs to John Tam and not a real man. See? Or she can tell that during the time frame that, you know what I mean, she interact with John Tam, more than likely the youth of John Tam and not FIRME. You understand? But as I say, take two for tango because people are going to say the woman wicked. You understand? But the man will sleep with a next man woman, him wicked too. You understand? I want to look into it, you know. I'm going to go to the solution. I'm going to read through from the Bible and go to the solution. See? The man will sleep with another man's wife. It is just as wicked as the woman will get jacket. And in many cases, you have a man out there a look on and see, say, that you they are my one, you know, but him allow a next man to mind that you. They want to look upon it from a practical perspective, you know. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We don't want to look upon it from an emotional standpoint. In many cases, you have brothers a brag. Say, him have youth out there where another man of mine. And that is evil. You understand? And this is not me trying to take the burden and the weight and the blame off of the woman. You understand? Because I know the oppressor have you all in a rage, trying to get you to hate the black woman. Where else you going to go? You going to run to the white woman? You going to run to the Chinese woman? The black woman is all you have, brother. Just rest assured, the white woman don't know your struggle. Don't think that you have solace in any white or thing there, any Chinese or any other nation of woman. The black woman is yours. Then, the reason, the cause of paternity fraud is a lack of brotherhood. Me not even going to say sisterhood yet. It's more brotherhood than anything. You sleeping with an ex-man, woman, is the reason why him get a jacket and you are going to get a jacket too. The man will sleep with the next man, woman, your woman are going to get a jacket. You are going to get, him are going to get a jacket and you are going to get a jacket. Because you is a unbrotherly little bastard. You're a disgusting little individual. You don't care nothing about an ex-black man. You rather sleep with him woman to have something over him head, and it's homosexual, it's gay. You sleeping with an ex-man woman is nigh unto being an LGBT. I'm not telling you the truth. Zin, you know the woman of a man. And if you never know at first, eventually you're going to know. You understand? Eventually you're going to know. And in most cases, you don't care. You don't care because the culture is, yeah man, we take a boy girl and yeah, you hype about it and you feel like you're jealous. He's a batty man, my youth. May I tell you the truth? He's a batty man. Me not say a man no fi have whole heap of woman, but sleeping with a next man woman, he's a batty man. May I tell you the truth? You know say another man a push him hood in that. And you still want to put your hood in that and make your exchange semen with him. Because him a bust off in there and you a push your hood in there. Two obviously a bust off in the woman. So guess what? Film DNA in you a batty boy, man. You. May I tell you the truth, brother. Two on gay. Well, him never know. Him no know same woman a gay him born. So you are the gay. You will know say she have a man and sleep with her, you is gay. And in many cases, as I say, this have to be studied, you know, because the man them will love sleep with the next man, woman. I believe it have to do with obsession with a next man. It's the same way like our woman who, you know what I mean, who she don't want a man who don't have a woman. And any woman she see in a good relationship, she want a man there. Not because of the money, no, but because she want to live in the sister shoes. It's an obsession with the sister. This have to be studied. The man them we just go around sleeping with, and the Bible call them adulterers. And the Bible say, I will show you, say that is a death penalty offense. Let me tell you what else is a death penalty offense. LGBT is a death penalty offense according to the Bible. And a man sleeping with a next man woman is also. I wonder why. I wonder why the Most High put them in the same, you know what I mean, penalty. See? So it have to be studied. The man them will go around and sleep with other man, woman. It have to be some kind of obsession with the man himself, or obsessed with men so much so that you want to feel how them woman feel. You gay man, you me tell you the truth, you're a fish. You're a fish. Man like that to wear an next man brief. All right. Them I go tell you no. Them would wear an next man brief. But you do worse than wear an next man brief. You push your hood in the same hole where him does ejaculate in her. Him sperm is in there. It no, she bathe and it's still in there. It now come out till she have her period. So something wrong with you. So as me I try to tell you, a lack of brotherhood is the reason why we have the paternity fraud problem. If we were living according to the laws of the Bible that says that a man should not sleep with a next man's wife, we wouldn't have this problem. See, we're going to play another tape of some half LGBT so-called, you know what I mean, experts basically talking about paternity tests. You know what I mean? In the meanwhile, I'm just stop up the screen, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. This is the ISUPK Jamaica Under Commanding General YAHANNA Wednesday night law class. You understand? Just bear with the noise in the background. We have some, you know what I mean, delusional Christian church out there on the street making a ruckus. You understand?
Or what Jamaicans call jacket is at an alarming level in Jamaica. But is the answer mandatory DNA testing at birth? Kemon White reports.
When I discovered the first child for my father, I recognized that I was not from this stock.
That's Errol Scott, who shared his story of being raised by a man who was not his biological father. In other words, he was what Jamaicans call a jacket. 876 DNA, a local DNA testing company, recently revealed that last year, their 2024 data showed that nearly half of their tests turned up adverse results. That means the two people tested were not related.
But the number is extremely high. So we've heard higher numbers before, but I think that this is the closest to an accurate record that we probably have of the issue in Jamaica.
This has renewed the debate about mandatory DNA testing at birth. Member of Parliament for St. James Central, Hirai Clark, believes Jamaica needs a law mandating DNA testing at birth.
What it will do, it will save us a lot of time, court time, if and when there should be an argument as who the father is in the future of that child.
But social anthropologist Dr. Herbert Gale believes that this is a bad idea.
We could actually put a person who is in a position of extreme vulnerability, just having a baby, at major risk of being killed. Yes. And making somebody who would normally harm somebody go into a fit and harm somebody and then spend his life. So the child now has no support system. Absolutely. It's an absolutely frighteningly stupid idea.
It's not a stupid idea. It's a good idea, but it still won't solve the problem. It will curtail some of the problem. But you know what I mean? These experts, they are not experts. See, it's not a stupid idea. It will make women think twice. Think twice before, you know what I mean, cheating and giving, you know what I mean, a man who, you know what I mean, who's not the father, the jacket, if she know. See? No, it won't solve the problem because there's still a lack of brotherhood. Brothers are going to still go around sleeping with other brothers' wife. See, in the ISUPK, we don't deal with girlfriend. Your girlfriend is your wife. See, sex is marriage, according to the Bible. So this problem won't stop. So here what happen. It will curtail some of the problem. You will have repercussion like people being unalive, which will put most enough people in a fright, but it still going to continue. The violence going to continue, but you might have less jacket. See? But the real solution to this is getting back to the Most High's laws. Keeping his laws that say a man can have more than one wife, just not another man's wife. Take out of your mind this Christian teaching that, you know what I mean, only matrimony, one man to one woman. No, it is one man to as many women as in this side. They just cannot be another man's woman. You understand? That has always been our culture. That is laws that the Most High gave to us. See? But because we grew up in this Christian lie, the facade of Christianity, you know what we do? We tell our wives, which is our girlfriends and whatever, that as she alone, we love she alone, and Ray. And then we hide and do things a road. And she find out. And she say, oh, he's a liar. So she hide and do things a road. And that's how you get jacket. So you get jacket because you are Christian in your mind. And in your mind, you can't tell this woman, say, you have the right to have more than one wife. Well, guess what? The brothers in the ISUPK and the commanding general, YAHANNA, are doing well at having more than one wife. 5, 6 wives. And all of them know about each other. And nobody has to hide from nobody. You understand? And there's no problem. Yeah, just more baby are born. See? So you miss a big gallus where you hide and sleep with. You know what I mean? A next man woman. You're really just a LGBT and a coward and a liar. Afraid to tell a woman that you believe in the right to have more than one wife. That's why you don't need to get inside of the ISUPK. Out there in the world now, some weak and feeble brothers and unbrotherly and wicked and cruel because of your lack of brotherhood is the reason why now you have, you know what I mean, children being born in a house where them not have the right father. When that find out, them not have no father. It's a lack of brotherhood why, you know what I mean, the society is the way it is. Not all your fault, you know, don't get me wrong, you know. The most of the fault is on the oppressor because the oppressor put we in this big quagmire where now we have this dilemma with our women. You understand? But the lack of brotherhood that is out there in the world, it makes our brothers look weak and makes our brothers look unbrotherly. You understand? And that is why we implore you, get inside inside this truth, the ISUPK and the commanding general, YAHANNA. Make we teach you how to be men. Strong men, not liars. What a coward you have to be if you go to a woman and tell her, say, no man, me not have no woman, man. No man. You're alone, man, Ray. You're a coward. And that has never make a woman, unless she just fully Christian in her mind. You know what I mean? And she's just one of those sisters who prideful and which you don't want a sister like that anyway. You would want a sister like that. Where if you just go to a girl who like you and tell her, say, me have my woman. Me believe, I'm an Israelite. I believe in multiple wives. You know what I mean? And I have more woman, and I might have more woman in the future. If she like you, she not gonna change. She doesn't like you. How often you see woman sleep with other woman, man? It's just you being a coward. You're a coward and you're weak and you're a Christian. That's why you're afraid to tell a woman, say, you have a woman. And you're afraid of your woman in your yard. Your woman in your yard, and she wear the pants. You're afraid of her, like puss. And she are the man. And you are the bitch. In so much you have to hide and have other woman. You're a bitch. But just I tell you straight. Well, in the ISUPK and a commanding general, Yana, there's no bitches inside here. You understand? The soldiers and beautiful princesses. You understand? We're going to read some scripture. Then we're going to read the book of Leviticus 20 and verse 10. Remember, tap up the screen, like, share, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. This is the ISUPK. This is Leviticus 20 and 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife. So what is adultery? Sleeping with another man's wife. This is the cause. This is the root of paternity fraud. You having sex with another man's wife. You understand? Even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress, shall surely be put to death. This is a death penalty offense. And you might ask yourself, you know what I mean? This a big gal is out there sleeping with everybody, woman. Why should you know what I mean? Why is this so serious? Why is me sleeping with another man's wife so serious? Well, this is what you cause. This is what you cause. You, Mr. Gallus, you cause this brother to lose his life innocently because you breed him woman. And when him got to war about it, she killed him. Let me tell you another situation that could have happened. Him could have did Unalive she. Let me tell you why else could happen. Him could have Unalive she and the picnic. See? Let me tell you another thing what could happen. Him could have raised this picnic to adulthood. Invest millions of dollars in this child that is not his. Mr. Gallus. See? Mr. Gallus, this is the problem that you cause. See? And that is the reason why the Most High say you should put to death you and the adulteress. So you being a Gallus is a death penalty. I'm going to say Gallus, I don't mean a man who just have more than one woman. I mean a man who goes around sleeping with other man's woman. According to the Bible, you're supposed to be put to death. You understand? And it is right. And of course, we in the ISUPK, we don't put nobody to death. Then, what we implore our people to do is come back to the Most High laws, because keeping God's laws will prevent situations like this. You understand? No amount of, you know what I mean, paternity test is ever going to stop this problem. You know what will stop this problem? We stop committing adultery. You understand? And it have to start with the brothers. See? Because if you, all right, even if the sister have a man and she a look you, it's brotherhood. You're not being a good brother. When you find out that she have a man, that should be the first thing come out of your mouth. You understand? When you talk to a woman in an intimate way, if she have a man, you should have asked her if she have a man. That should be the first thing. If you are a brother, if you're not this thirsty individual who, you know what I mean, don't know to control yourself. Then ask her if she have a man. And if she say, because nowadays them women are because they want to hide and do them thing. You see it, and they want to keep it a secret against them husband. See? Them outright I go tell you say them have a man. And if she even You know what I mean? Think that you are the type of brother who wouldn't talk to her if she have a man. Time. Stop being so thirsty. Take your time, Bridget. Slow your roll. Because the same way you end up sleep with another man, woman, and give him jacket is the same way you could have catch AIDS and dead. You understand? Slow your roll, brother. And right now the rate is so high. and right now, may I hear like you have a new crabs. Is it crab? Gonorrhea. A new gonorrhea is out there right now that cannot be treated. So gonorrhea come like herpes. And the most I do that, the most I make them sexually transmitted disease and more, you know what I mean? More, they make them stronger to curtail the problem of adultery. The most I put them these plagues in place to make you slow your roll. You understand? Slow your roll. Take your time to find out with the sister, then you will find out that, oh, she really do have a man because she can't hide it for long. She only can hide it for a week or so. And that is the longest period of time that you take if you have sex with a woman. More time you want to sleep with a woman tonight. You're unbrotherly. You're unbrotherly. It's not even about the sister. It's about you, you know what I mean? Being not a brother to a not next brother. And you see, unless we have this brotherhood that says, nah, sleep with a next man, woman, paternity problem are going to always be there. And you're a whole lot more unaliving because of it. See, let me read this again. Leviticus 20:10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that commit adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. That is a death penalty offense because this is the problem that it caused and worse. The most I knew and the most I say, unalive them. You find them in adultery, you find a man committing adultery with another man, woman, you carry them to the priest, and the priest give them just, you know what I mean, hearing, them just due, find out they are guilty, unalive them, stone them to death. You understand? And that is righteous, that is right. An adulterer and an adulteress should be put to death. But of course, we are not in our land right now. We are not living by the laws according to the society aspect of it where, you know what I mean, God's law is concerned. See? So there's been the adultery here in Jamaica is not a death penalty offense. It is not even a crime. It is not even a crime. See? But when Christ come, it is going to be a death penalty offense. Because it will go back to the time when we were in Israel. You understand? That's how it will go back. Right now, putting an adulterer to death is murder. You understand? Putting an adulteress to death is murder. So you don't do that. But what we implore you to do is to get inside the ISUPK, keep the Most High laws, and stop being a filthy adulterer and a filthy adulteress. You understand? Then we jump to another scripture. We'll jump to Ecclesiasticus. We'll jump to Ecclesiasticus 23 and verse 22. And it said, thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in and hear by another. What is that talking about? That is talking about paternity fraud. Paternity fraud is when a woman sleep with an ex-man who is not her husband and give him a heir or a son or a child. A heir is a son. Because he will now be the heir to his father's legacy. He's a son. So she bring in a heir by another. Another man now inherits all of your resource and your hard work. Your fatherhood, see, your investment, your teaching, you know what I mean? Because you invest your time and your money into this child because you think it's your child. You understand? When it's not your child. So the Most High is saying, thus shall it go also with the wife that leave her husband, because a wife or a girlfriend who is a wife same way, who sleep with another man, she just leave her original man. But of course, you know what I mean, society work different. So she come back to that man when she already leave him. And she bring in a ear, bring in a child by another man. This is paternity fraud. So here is what the Most High says supposed to happen. See? Ecclesiasticus, let me just say, verse 23. Saying, for first, she has disobeyed the law of the Most High. That is the first thing she do. Which law? The law that I just read in Leviticus 20 and 10. That said, if a man sleep with an ex-man wife, both of them should be put to death. So, first thing she do is disobey the law of the Most High. See? Let's continue. And secondly, she has trespassed against her own husband. See? And thirdly, she has played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man. See? This is a serious situation. Verse 24, she shall be brought out into the congregation. What is the congregation? She should be brought before the judges, the priests, in front of the congregation. She'll be put on trial. See? This was our laws that the Most High gave us. Or these were laws that we you know what I mean, we carry out. These are the things that we did because of the laws that the Most High gave us. So she shall be brought on out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. See? That is why mandatory paternity test is not foolish. It's supposed to happen. It will help. It will not solve the problem. The problem is caused because of adultery and a lack of brotherhood. See? That is the cause of the problem. But mandatory DNA testing at birth, it will help. See? So it's an inquisition. What is inquisition? An inquiry. You know what I mean? An inquiry, meaning they will now search out the matter to find out. Let me continue. And inquisition shall be made of her children to find out who for children are these. So we are the solution all along. We are the solution all along, you know. It was always in the Bible. The Christian church want you to throw out the laws that are in the Bible when the laws can fix a problem such as paternity fraud. The oppressor law that we follow here in Jamaica does not solve paternity fraud. It doesn't solve murder. It doesn't solve all the problems that we have, but the Most High laws solve it. The Most High laws solve all of these problems, and that is why it is important for you to get inside the school. You want paternity fraud to stop? It will not unless you get inside the ISUPK and Jamaica, and the black people here in Jamaica who are the children of Israel are living by the Most High laws. It will not stop. You'll find more unaliving and reprisals. You understand? And in many cases, part of the crime problem have to do with, you know what I mean, adultery. A good percentage of the crime problem come from adultery. But them don't want to talk about. Part of the crime problem that we have is not all, you know what I mean, criminal elements. In many cases, it's domestic. True or false? in many cases, the problem that we have here with violence here in Jamaica is a domestic problem. Crime, murder, unaliving, wounding with intent. These are crimes in Jamaica, and many of these crimes are not committed by criminals. It's committed by people who are in a relationship. You understand? Let me continue reading. It says, she shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. See? Verse 25. Her children shall not take root. You understand? Tell me something. This sister who unalive, you know what I mean, or would-be baby father. Zane, this woman, I'll put it up on the screen. Sure. This woman, I'll put it up on the screen. Will her children take root? What do you mean by take root? They will have no foundation. A tree that takes root, you know what I mean, have a strong foundation. That root goes into the soil, it gathers nutrient, and those nutrients help the tree to grow big and strong. Well, it said, the scripture said, let me read again. Her children shall not take root, meaning they will have no foundation. They will not get all the things that they need to become good, functioning, healthy adults. See? And her branches shall bring forth no fruit. You understand? So these children will end up live a cursed life. And guess what? That has been our life here in Jamaica. That has been our life here in Jamaica. We have lived out a curse here in Jamaica because of, you know what I mean, breaking God's laws. And now you can actually see who this Bible is talking about and to. Who it's talking to and who it's talking about. This is our records. See? So let me read it again. It said, her children shall not take root. This will happen to the woman who, you know what I mean, who is caught in adultery. This woman child has no father and no mother. See? Because of adultery. Because of adultery, her children will not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. You understand? So, if you want to fix the paternity fraud problem here in Jamaica, you have to keep God's laws. You understand? That is the only way for us to fix this problem. Yeah, mandatory testing at birth will help to curtail some of the problem, but a lack of brotherhood, whereas, you know what I mean, brothers don't care about having sex with another man's wife, would cause, you know what I mean, this problem to continue. The main cause of this is a lack of brotherhood and us not keeping the Most High's laws. The solution, keeping God's laws. And that's why I implore you to get inside the ISUPK. Or you'll have more sad stories like this. You understand? All right. We'll move on to another topic, another subject area of this class. And we're going to show you that the Christian church, they are not really doing anything according to the Bible. See? You know what I mean? All right. So watch this. The Christian church have a thing with them called crusade. Kind of something like, if you not hear the background, there's a Christian church out on the road right now. It's like, yeah, making a ruckus. See? There's a Christian church out on the road right now making a ruckus. Give me a second. Making noise. They are claiming that they are trying to fish people into their Christian church. You understand? So, them usually call that a crusade. See? But this is the stupidity of Christianity. You know what a crusade is? A crusade is a terrible event, you know, and an event that contributed to our slaughtering, you know, in the past. You know, we died in crusades, you know. The oppressor, the Roman Catholics, who were the Romans, saying they went on crusades. The word crusade comes from the word crucify. The same white people, the Romans, crucified Christ. And the Christian church used that term. Why? Why you think the Christian church used the term crusade? Can anybody guess why the Christian church used the term crusade? The reason why the Christian church uses the word crusade is because that is what the Romans used to do. And we always tell you that the oppressor, the Roman Catholic Church, the Romans, they are the creators of Christianity. You understand? Christianity has nothing at all to do with the Bible. See? It is the Romans who created Christianity. You understand? The Romans created Christianity. So Christianity, it holds terms used by the Romans, like crusade. Crusade was almost like a military campaign where them go out and them unalive, you know what I mean, opposing people. Them go and burn down villages, unalive women and children, men, women and children, burn down villages to convert people into Christianity. Well, the Christian church today still use that term crusade when them go on the street to, you know what I mean, to spread the word of Jesus. That does show you the incompetence of Christianity. And if our people knew a little bit about history, that should be a big turn off and tell you what kind of spirit Christianity comes with. It comes with the spirit of the oppressor and his cruelty. You understand? But we in the ISUPK and Command in General, YAHANNA, before me even come into the truth, see, the ISUPK had a custom of how they conducted, you know what I mean, speaking to the people, prophesying to the people. And all of this is biblical. If you know the Hebrew Israelites, what you know them for doing? Well, they are out on the street. There's a pulpit of wood that them stand upon. 3 men, one priest and a reader. Somebody reading, 2 persons on the pulpit, 1 reading and 1 speaking. See? And you have other brothers around the camp. See? On guard, looking, you know what I mean, in a militant manner. See? And then you have the banners. See? We're going to show you that all of that is in the Bible. We're going to jump to the book of, and let me say this, nothing that the Christian church does, zero is in the Bible. Nothing that the Christian church do is inside of that Bible. We're going to jump to the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 4. Let me pull it up. Give me a sec. You hear them, at least we don't hear them still, so let me not even talk about what them are. 8 and 4. All right, so this is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8 and verse 4. See? It said, And Ezra, the scribe, stood upon a pulpit of wood. So the scribe Ezra, who is a prophet also, because you have the book of Ezra. Zin, this is the same Ezra. Zin, which they had made for the purpose. So they made a pulpit of wood. Meaning something made of wood that them stand upon. Zin, and beside him stood Mattithiah, which is another prophet. Zin, and Shemaiah, and Ananiah, and Urijah, and Hilkiah, and Maaseiah, on his right hand, and on his left hand, Pedaiah, and Mishael, and Malchiah, and Hashum, and Hashbadana, and Zechariah, you know what I mean? And Mashallam. See? This is exactly how the ISUPK does it. The Christian church don't do it, so no. So when you see we out on the street, pulpit of wood, one man on the right and next man on the right, and brothers surrounding from left to right. This was how the prophets of old did it. And the reason why we did it that way is because that is how they did it. Nothing that the Christian church does is inside the Bible. Nothing. Name one. Can you name me one thing that the Christian church do that is inside the Bible? Just name me one thing that the Christian church does that is in the Bible. Nothing, not at all. But ISUPK and a command in general, YAHANNA, was established on the foundation of the Bible. Why? Because we don't think this book is a fairy tale book. We believe that this book is the records of our foreparents given to us by the Most High. Our foreparents written while the Most High inspired. And this was our custom and our history. So this is not some religion. We are the people of the book. This was who we are before we, you know what I mean? We ended up no longer being inside our land because of persecution, which eventually caused us to end up over here in slavery, in captivity. This was who we were before we ended up over here. We were these people. We were the Israelites. You don't get more connected to the Bible than that. This is not a religion. This is, oh crap, they have our records pretending to be us while they have us in slavery and selling it back to us in the form of a religion called Christianity. We need to escape this religion and take back our culture. You understand? This is the perspective. And that is the reason why we do the things we do in the ISUPK. That is why you see us out on the street, you know what I mean, on a pulpit of wood, you know what I mean, just like Ezra, not like a Christian pastor who brings a tent or just out in the middle of the street, blocking traffic, you understand, shouting into people's, you know what I mean, singing songs, playing music. That is not what the prophets of old did. They certainly didn't cook themselves up in some church, extorting our people of their money. That is not what the prophets of old did. What they did was stand on a pulpit of wood, just like Ezra, with prophets surrounding them, see, with other prophets surrounding them, prophesying against, whether it be the nation of Israel for the evil that we were doing, or prophesying against the kingdom ruling over us for the evil that they were doing. And this caused kingdoms to fail. You understand? Us going out into the street prophesying against kingdoms caused kingdoms to fail. Caused the kingdoms to fall. See? Whether it be our wicked government at the time, or it be, you know what I mean, the oppressor's kingdom, whether it be the Greeks, whether it be, you know what I mean, the Persians, whether it be, whether it be the Babylonians during the times when we were captives under those nations, or even today, whether it be the time of the America, where if you go on the internet, you will see our brothers out on the streets right throughout America, you understand, prophesying against America, saying America is going to fall. And America is falling. America is heading into World War III. It's already in it. And America is coming to an end. America being Babylon. Where you think the Rastafarians get the term Babylon? Referring to, you know what I mean, this kingdom as Babylon. They got this from us. The ISUPK. See? Many of the teaching points that you are accustomed to, you know what I mean, the right ones that you love and are accustomed to, it came from the ISUPK. You just never heard about the ISUPK. Some Rastaman who have been in the United States saw Commanding General YAHANNA or saw the ISUPK back in, you know what I mean, time past, come to Jamaica and reshape what he learned into Rastafarianism. Bastardizing it, but keeping the substance of the teaching for strengthening own doctrine. But now, unfortunate for them, the internet has opened up the airwaves. And now the world know about the ISUPK. See? Mr. Sizzla Kalonji come on TV and an interview saying that you should learn the Lashawan Kodash because we are the Hebrew Israelites. Well, the Hebrew Israelite part him say on stage. You understand? And he must say you need to learn the Lashawan Kodash, the holy tongue, the Hebrew. As a matter of fact, the Lashawan Kodash was dead. The oppressor tried to bury it. We resurrected it, the ancient Hebrew. The oppressor used this modern Yiddish Hebrew over there in Israel, which is not the ancient Hebrew. The ISUPK resurrected it through research, found out that no, that what the oppressor over there with the Israelis are speaking are not Hebrew. This is Hebrew. And now, if you are left up to Sizzla Kalonji alone, you will think that he was the one who discovered it. When it comes from us, specifically the ISUPK, we, as a matter of fact, most of this Jesus being black, if it wasn't for the ISUPK, nobody would be saying that. We are the ones that brought it out. Jesus being black. And I know many of you see a lot of fake Hebrew Israelites out there teaching, so much so that you even try to challenge us with our own doctrine, but just watered down. Like we met some idiot in Mobile the other day. Then he was talking about this church online that he learned from. And he was saying precept upon precept. And we said, where you get that term from? He was burning out the Bible in the process, you know. But we are saying, but where you get that term from? He said, go and follow him teach and teach online. Go and follow him. So I said, no, we are ask you. He said, no, don't ask me. Go and ask him, precept upon precept. So we are saying, where you think that term come from, precept upon precept? Where you think that come from? It come from out of the Bible, and it's the ISUPK and a Commanding General YAHANNA let you know that the Bible says you should read it precept upon precept, here a little, there a little. So in many cases, not for our people out there, learning from some watered down, you know what I mean, preacher or pastor or some fake Hebrew Israelite Christian, and trying to, you know what I mean, come up against us with our own teaching. But time and time again, it is very important for us to let you know that we are the ones, the authenticators of this truth. This is where the Most High chose to deliver this message. You understand? And that is why we tell you, beware of these false teachers out there. You understand? I know many of you out there looking for the truth, looking for knowledge. You understand? Many of you are tired of the Christian church, when you see all the immorality and the hypocrisy in the Christian church. I want to look for the truth. And in many cases, sometimes on a buck up pan, you know what I mean, charlatans out there who just want to exploit. You know, just like the Christian pastor do. You know, want to come out of the Rastafari community. See, I want to search. But we have to beware. You understand? It is not by accident that the most time I couldn't find and stumble upon the ISUPK. It's never by accident. But the scripture also says many are called. And what? Few are chosen. See? So just be aware and beware of you seeing the truth in front of you and rejecting it because of something or another. You understand? All right, we'll jump to some more scriptures. See, we're going to jump to the book of... So we just brought out to you that the same way the prophets of old conducted themselves when they were on the street, delivering the message, prophesying to the people, is the same way the ISUPK does it. You understand? When the Christian church does nothing in the Bible, nothing at all in the Bible, the Christian church, and that is not by accident. The oppressor who gave you Christianity, he never intended to give you the Bible. He intended to give you something to deviate you from the Bible and tell you that this is what the Bible says to do. So if you want to learn the Bible, you have to learn it through his eyes, which you're going to get the incorrect teaching. Or you reject him because he's the oppressor and reject the Bible because he's holding the Bible. So you will reject Christianity, which is right, but as a result, you will also reject the Bible, which is wrong. You understand? That is his plan. The oppressor is always a 10 step ahead. You understand? Let me read this. First Esdras 9 and 42. You know what I mean? We'll start at 42 and it said, and Esdras, the prophet, this is in the Apocrypha. See? And Esdras the prophet and reader of the law stood up upon a pulpit of wood. Here we have the pulpit of wood again. Where is the Christian church pulpit of wood? I don't want any Christian pastor to watch this and now go create a pulpit of wood and try to become like ISUPK because we are doing it the right way. Because we do this according to how our foreparents did it before us. Because this Bible is not a religion to us. This is our culture. See, let me continue. Upon a pulpit of wood which was made for the purpose. See, 43, and there stood up by him Matthias, Samias, Samos. All right, so this is basically breaking down the same thing in Nehemiah. See? All right, so let's jump to verse 5. Then took Esdras, which is Ezra. Esdras is Ezra. You see me? Yeah. Then took Esdras the book of the law. What is the book of the law? The Bible. So he took the book of the law. Why is it called the book of the law? Because the laws inside the Bible is what Esdras was teaching. You understand? Not the Christian pastor tell you that the laws are done away with. Well, Esdras, who was a prophet, was teaching from the book of the law, which is, you know what I mean, the laws in the Bible. Then let me continue. Then took Esdras the book of the law before the multitude, for he stayed honorably in the first place in the sight of them all. Verse 46. And when he opened the law, they stood all straight up. So Esdras blessed the Lord God Most High, the God of hosts, Almighty. Verse 47. And all the people answered, Amen. And lifted up their hands, they fell to the ground and worshipped the Lord. Why them fell to the ground? Because guess what going on now? While Esdras was reading the law, they were convicted. Because when Esdras started teach and I tell them, you shall not commit adultery, many of them was convicted because they were committing adultery. When Ezra said, thou shalt not commit murder, the law said you must not do this, which is very important. If you don't teach that the Bible says you must not do certain things, how will the people now repent? The Christian church said the law is done away with. So you don't have to keep it. So that means what? Nobody is going to be convicted. But in this scenario right here, everybody what? They lifted up their hand and they fell to the ground because what? They were guilty of breaking the law. And they were, what you call it, repenting. They were ashamed. You understand? And they wanted to change. And this was a multitude of people. This was back in the time when we were in our, well, in Esdras, I don't remember if in Esdras we were in our land, but this would be amongst our people. This was always the issue amongst our people. We breaking God's laws. And time again, the prophets of old had to come out and remind the people that, look, you are breaking God's laws, and that is the reason why you are going through all that you're going through. That is the reason why these nations are oppressing you, because God has turned his back on us. You understand? So it was important to have prophets to come out and remind the people about God's laws. But what do the Christian church do today? What them do? Them tell you that God's laws are not important, causing you to always remain under a curse. You understand? Let me continue reading. And lifted up their hands, they fell to the ground and worshipped the Lord. Verse 48. And Jesus, which is not the Jesus in the New Testament, Anos, Sarabias, Adenos, Lacubos, Sabitius, Artius, Maeneas, Calitas, Azariah, and Lozabdos, and Ananias, Biatas. The Levites today are the Haitians, not the Haitians, you know, the Haitians in Haiti. That's a tribe of Levi. See? So it said the Levites taught the law of the Lord. That was their job. Their job in time past was to minister to the priesthood. They were the priests of Israel, and their job was to teach God's laws. You understand? Making them withal to understand. Verse 49, then spake authorities unto Esdras the chief priest and reader, and to the Levites that taught the multitude, even to all, saying, you understand? So we're going to stop right there. See? We're just show you that in time past, this is exactly what we did. What you see in the ISUPK and the commanding general, YAHANNA, we going out on the street on a pulpit of wood, you know what I mean, reading from the Bible, which in time past would be the book of the law, God's laws. That is exactly how the prophets of old did it. And again, the Christian church does nothing according to the Bible, nothing at all. You understand? So with that, we're going to close out the class. See? Again, remember to like, share, follow, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching on. We are the ISUPK Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. See? Home of the truth. Get inside these classes. Learn your culture and also learn God's laws. See? And with that, I'm going to jump to the security announcement. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, and it's pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the church department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like to give. All right, so go over to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes. You understand? Support the truth, get this truth to the four corners of the earth where the children of Israel are. You understand? And I would need your support. Not to buy a jet like a Christian pastor, not to buy a Lamborghini. You understand? But so that we can feed God people, because if you follow the ISUPK, you see the clothes drive, and we give away clothes, we give away food, we give away, you know what I mean? We do so much for our people. That is what we do with tithes. The Christian pastor, he buy a jet, he buy a brand new car, he buy a mansion. You understand? And then tell you that, you know what I mean, should you rank on. You understand? Pay your tithes to the ISUPK, because you might just need us in the future. You might fall short by your bills, need some clothes, need some food, and you can come to us and get it. You understand? That is what we do. See? So pay your tithes. See? Upcoming Holy Convocation. All right, so the next Holy Convocation is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. So we keep the holy days that are in the Bible. We don't celebrate Christmas. We do not celebrate Easter. Those are pagan holidays that the Christian church promotes, and they are not in the Bible. What we do, we keep the holy days that the Bible give to the children of Israel, that God gave to us. See? And the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets is one of them. So the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet is the first day of the 7th month on the Most High's calendar, but on the oppressor's calendar, it is Sunday, the 21st of September. See? You can find the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets in Leviticus 23, verse 24 to 25. You can read about the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet there. See? Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam, our brothers and sisters, see? To check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. So go over to ISUPK.com and you'll see everything. You know what I mean? Our classes, debates, camps, you know what I mean? Everything, food drives, everything, right? If a brother wants to be a trooper or a soldier in the school, then he's to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. So just give us a shout. You know what I mean? You want to be a part of commanding generals, YAHANNA. You know what I mean? Army of black men and Hispanic men. You know what I mean? Give us a call. All right? And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, I Mariam Shabbat, I Mariam, Barak, Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Barak Thumb. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I Mariam Shabbat, I Mariam, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, I Lathun, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai. Yarimata, class dismissed. All right, so remember, like, share, follow, subscribe depending on the platform that you are watching on. We are the ISUPK Jamaica under commanding General YAHANNA. We keep classes Sundays 3 p.m., Wednesdays 7 p.m. You know what I mean? We have 2 podcasts. You know what I mean? Tuesday 9:30 p.m. We have the Conflict Zone hosted by Officer of 1,000 Abadawan. You know what I mean? Where he breaks down the wars going on in World War III between Russia, America, Ukraine, you know what I mean? Basically all the happenings across the earth, see? And then now you have the Breakdown podcast every Friday 9:30, hosted by Captain of 13,000 Nayatak and myself, seeing where we break down the things affecting the Caribbean people, seeing, and basically all of Israel. All right, so make sure to subscribe to our pages, ISUPK Jamaica. The Breakdown, we have a Breakdown YouTube channel that nobody subscribes to because apparently we don't know that we have it. So Breakdown, go and subscribe to it. Follow our TikTok pages. Our TikTok pages are getting a lot of clicks. Then we are on Instagram, we are on X, we are on Threads, and we are on YouTube right across the world. So just go and subscribe to every ISUPK channel and page. And with that, Shalom.